And today we will be making 3 versions of gin and tonic. So of course it's totally okay if you don't have a highball, and right now I will be just using double rocks glass. Fill it up with ice. I'm gonna be using Bluecoat gin, but of course at home you probably will go with less expensive options, so Beefeater or Bombay gin would totally work. And no bar tools, so I'm using shot glass and we'll pour 1.5 ounces. But as important as gin choice is tonic, and of course I will be using the best in the world, Tonic. Most likely you heard that it's 1 part of gin and 3 parts of tonic, but I think it's really personal and I prefer only 1 part of gin and more or less 2 parts of tonic. As a garnish we will need lime, so roll it a few times before cutting it. You can use lime wheel, but if you prefer to squeeze a little bit lime juice into your gin and tonic, so just make a lime wedge. You can put it inside or just place it on the glass rim if you will be squeezing it. And drink the whole thing within 2 seconds. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, for this version we will be a little bit more prepared and we'll start with clear ice. To cut it safely you will need a towel, a long knife and a mallet. I take a highball and measure it how big I want this piece of ice, and I actually prefer to have it a little bit bigger, so I would put less tonic water. It's actually a lot easier to cut than it looks. You just gotta do a lot of movements back and forth, and I don't even really apply a lot of pressure. Then I turn it around and also do pretty similar cut on the other side. And then just gently tap a few times in different spots. Boom. Now you can just make a few adjustments and then take knife to remove all imperfections. Just please be careful when you do that and make sure to hold that piece of ice with a towel. Looks pretty good now, so just put it now inside chilled highball glass. For this gin tonic, I will be using probably at the moment my favorite gin, Hendricks, and you also will need 1.5 ounces. There's an option to use tonic syrup mixed with soda water like in some cocktail bars, but if you have access to premium mixers like Tonic, I would highly recommend to use it because they taste great, and you also can use already a light version like I'm using right now. And I still would recommend to use 1 part of gin and 2 parts of tonic. You don't have to stir hard, you just need lightly mixed gin from bottom to top. Just like in the first version, you also can use lime wedge if you would like to squeeze it, but for this one I will be using lime wheel. And you can place it on top of the ice or just put it inside a drink. Of course I will be using metal straw, so nobody in the comments will yell at me for using plastic straws again. And it's totally optional, not on a classic recipe, but I really like to add 1 dish of Angostura into my gin and tonic. So let me know which one you guys like it so far, number 1 or number 2 to drink and make. And third version will be rainbow gin tonic. You will need lemon, lime and orange, and of course it would be great to have a grapefruit as well. So we will need a lime wheel from each fruit. Bow. Next you need to measure that they perfectly fit into the highball glass, and if they don't, you will need to cut it with a cookie cutter. So this is, I made a little custom cookie cutter. It was a shape of the heart, and now I will use it as my circle. Perfect, and now just put it all in a freezer for a few hours. Next we will need to put them 1 by 1 mixed with clear ice. I'm using about like a half size of the large cube, so if you guys want me to show it to you how I made them, let me know in the comments. I will be using a premium gin from Iceland, Angelica. It is pretty expensive but really tasty, so I highly recommend guys to try it. And we also will need 1.5 ounces. For this rainbow gin tonic, instead of regular, I would recommend to try elderflower tonic. It tastes completely different but super delicious. And you don't have to put a garnish on top just because it has already all the fruits inside. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know which one was your favorite.